It turns out high tide has arrived, mixing seawater and fresh water together, and something is moving within the murky water. It is massive. You subconsciously step back and hold your breath. In the murky water, a pair of 45-centimeter-long pincers slowly parts the surface. That is a eurypterid, a type of giant sea scorpion. It can grow up to 5 meters, making it the largest arthropod of the Devonian period. It is not purely a marine creature. It can survive in seawater, as well as roam in freshwater. And that pair of pincers could easily crush your bones. It slowly approaches you, getting closer and closer, then suddenly stops. Its pincers slightly raised, it seems to be observing you. You stay completely motionless. Its compound eyes are highly specialized for detecting moving objects. While you are still, you are merely a blurry smudge in its vision. A few seconds later, it slowly turns around and sinks back into the murky water. You instantly breathe a sigh of relief. You are very lucky. Either it is not hungry, or to it, you are an unfamiliar, unworthy target to attack. Time reaches 1 p.m. You realize you can no longer risk getting close to the stream. You must find a way to catch fish without touching the water. So, using rocks, branches, and mud, in the shallow area of the stream, you build a small dam to form a tiny pool. Fish that swim in with the current will get trapped. However, the lack of oxygen makes your movements sluggish. For every 10 minutes of work, you need to sit down and rest. 2 hours later, the dam is complete. Inside, 2 gyroptychius and a few 20-centimeter-long acanthodians are already trapped. Acanthodians are a type of primitive spiny fish. Their tender meat makes for excellent food. Time then advances to 3 p.m. The dry heat subsides slightly as you stroll along the coast, wanting to observe the surroundings and search for more freshwater sources. The shallow coastal waters are littered with myriapods and various trilobites. One of them, a trilobite called urbanotial, has massive compound eyes, capable of seeing forward, sideways, and upward all at once, the most sophisticated visual instrument on Earth at that time. Further out, where the water depth exceeds 2 meters, schools of ancient sharks can be seen. But they are not sharks in the modern sense. They are small in size and feed on small fish, posing no threat to you. Even further out, as the water deepens, the sea takes on a dark green hue. That is a Devonian coral reef. It is not a modern coral reef, but one composed of stromatoporoids and tabulate corals, forming enormous dome-like structures, some as large as trucks. Layered upon layer, they create an underwater labyrinth, the most complex ecosystem on Earth at the time. In the coral reef, crinoids wave their tentacles like plants to filter plankton. Primitive cephalopods dart through the coral thickets. Small placoderms hide in the coral crevices to evade predators. Then, as time reaches 4 p.m., you walk to the edge of a cliff. The cliff is about 5 meters high, with deep seawater below. You look down into the clear water, where a massive shadow moves slowly at the bottom, like a small car. The shadow turns around, and sunlight strikes its armor, reflecting a cold gleam. This is Dunkleosteus, the apex predator of the Devonian period. Its body length can reach 5 to 4 meters, weighing nearly a ton. It is in the same class as the gyroptychius you saw earlier, yet completely different. Dunkleosteus has no teeth. Its upper and lower jaws are lined with 2 pairs of bony plates, the front acting like fangs, the back acting like scissors. With every bite, the bony plates scrape against each other, becoming even sharper, like a self-sharpening guillotine. It could snap its prey in half with a single bite. The entire bite process taking only 50 to 60 milliseconds, faster than a blink of your eye. And sensing your gaze, it slowly lifts its head, allowing you to clearly see its eyes. Then it turns around, slowly sinking into the deep ocean and disappearing into the green waters. A cold shudder runs through you, relieved that you were standing on the cliff. Had you approached the water's edge back then, even if submerged only to your ankles, one single bite from it would have killed you instantly. Dunkleosteus ruled for 20 million years during the Devonian Period, lasting 10 times longer than Tyrannosaurus rex, and 60 times longer than human history. It was not merely at the top of the food chain. It was the food chain itself. Time now reaches 5 p.m. You return to the forest to check the dam, harvesting 3 more fish, enough for your dinner and tomorrow's breakfast. You light the campfire once again. This time, you've learned to use the driest bark as tinder to keep the flames steady. While roasting the fish, you flip over a piece of bark and suddenly spot a 5-centimeter long scorpion. It is not a sea scorpion, but a terrestrial one, already living on land, as one of the earliest terrestrial predators. You dare not touch it with your bare hands, for no one knows if its venom poses a deadly threat to your modern immune system. Here, any unknown organism could be lethal. Time moves on to 6 p.m. At sunset, the Devonian sky displays an unprecedented beauty. As the sun sets, the sky turns shades of red, orange, and purple, with a broader spectrum than modern times. Because there are fewer pollutants in the atmosphere, the light is pure, and the colors are more vivid. The last rays of sunlight filter through the canopy, casting dappled light and shadows over the leaf litter. This is also the very first sunset in Earth's first forest. Night falls, and the forest grows quiet. No bird calls, no insect chirps. Because there are no flying insects yet, there is only the sound of waves crashing on the shore, and the occasional splash of water from the stream. The sky holds 10 times more stars than today, yet not a single familiar constellation is in sight. Because across 800 million years of celestial movement, Orion and the Big Dipper have all vanished from view. This is a completely alien starry night, belonging to a completely alien world. Just then, a heavy thud echoes from the stream. You walk to the forest edge, looking out under the starlight. In the shallow water of the stream, a creature crawls onto the shore. 4 short legs, a clumsy body, a flattened head, and a finned tail. That is a tetrapod, a transitional creature bridging fish and terrestrial animals, quite possibly Tiktaalik. It is only 1 meter long, its front half crawling onto land, its back half remaining in the water. Its lungs allow it to breathe in the air, though with great effort. Its skin is moist and glossy, and its thick, overlapping ribs not only aid in breathing, but also support its body weight on land. Its limbs are not yet true legs, merely gradually evolving fins, with webbing at the tips of its toes. Its movement on land is awkward and slow. A few minutes later, it turns and slowly crawls back into the water. There is no food for it on land, nor any natural predators. It is simply experimenting, testing this unfamiliar terrain. And this is the very first time a vertebrate sets foot on land, the most critical step in the history of life's evolution. 380 million years later, its descendants will cover every corner of the earth, from the tundra to the deserts, from high mountains to vast cities. They will construct skyscrapers, soar into outer space, and record stories of this distant era. Standing at the forest edge, you watch it disappear into the water, your heart filled with profound awe. Traversing to this primeval and unforgiving age, you have witnessed the dawn of life on Earth, the birth of the very first forest, and the first step of vertebrates coming ashore. There are no traces of humanity here, Yet it holds life's most primal force and evolution's most touching miracle. You are not merely a survivor, but a witness to this distant epoch, witnessing how life journeyed from the ocean onto land, how step by step it evolved into today's world, and how history itself truly began.